the second critical choice I made was to commit to a two-way agreement. Now, I want to set a little bit more context to this for the community that doesn't watch the show yet. When I think about a two-way agreement, and oh my gosh, you're like in it when you think about the student athletes and your role at Fresno State University and being an athlete. But I think about two people or two parties, two entities coming together with a mutually beneficial desired outcome. We are in this together for a mutually beneficial desired outcome. I'm going to give, you're going to give, and we're going to get, but we got to commit to this thing. I think we also enter into two-way agreements all the time, informally or formally, but the power is when we commit to them. And what I experienced when I committed to the two-way agreement with my sister at the time when I was 21 was that actions that started with, I have to do this, transformed to, I want to do this.
Yeah.
What is a two-way agreement that you've entered into that has made an impact on your journey? And what did you give and what did you get?
Yeah. I would say the opportunity to come to California in the first place for a job, that was, a two-way agreement with an employer and myself, which is a very formal version of a two-way agreement.
But that is, keep going, because we enter into this, like, two parties, you made an agreement.
Yeah, they hired me and I wanted to be here. So that was kind of the agreement. But I think what it has given me, right? What it's given me and what I've
keep going. Yeah, what you gave, what you got, just your perspective on how it's impacted you.
Yeah. So what I, through that agreement or that choice of mine, I gave up kind of being with the opportunity to be with my family and be away from people that I know and love. And I have the best family and the best support system you could possibly ever dream of. And so I gave up, those quality moments and holidays and small events and, just things like that, being on a boat on the lake in the summer every weekend, that type of stuff. But again, like has always been my choice. And I think that what I've really gained from that is just a much greater perspective of when you want something and you have a goal, like really what can happen when you commit to it and you go after it. And so, I didn't know when I started here 5 years ago that I would be in the position that I am now. And thankfully I am. But at the same time, it's like, there's so many opportunities when you allow or you open yourself to be in those types of environments. And so what I've gained is just amazing mentorship relationships, amazing friendships, and really, I think above kind of all of that is a better understanding of myself, because I didn't have, the safety nets of my family and friends or being able to just go to my parents' house, and I think personally, I needed that. I needed to be, I came from being on a team, which is, whether you like it or not, that's very much so what that is, that comfort. Not always pretty, but there's always that level of comfort.
Like family, like you're in it. You're exactly. In it together.
Yeah. And so putting myself in a position that I didn't have any of that, it forced me to really explore who I was and where my values were, and made me hold myself accountable. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is to say something to yourself and to actually do it, because nobody knows, like, if you don't, so it's where if you say to somebody else, they're going to ask you about it, and then you're gonna be like, oh shoot, I should probably do that. But and so that self accountability of, like, you have the power to make your life whatever you want it to be. And I think that was probably the biggest thing that I gained from that two-way agreement, to kind of create my own life and my own, whatever I wanted.
Thank you for joining me for our Choose and Become interview series. You could find this episode and others at trishkendall.com. Just go to trishkendall.com/choose-become-interview-series. Or if you have a question or just want to leave a comment, email me, trish@trishkendall.com.